So a few years ago, I ended up quitting my dream job in a AAA studio. And I'm going to share you the reason why. But before we get into that, we need to go back in the past to see how it all began. And I'm sure it will be very similar to your case. When I was kid, when I was like 10 or something, I was born in Lima, Peru. Piracy was a normal thing there. There's no such thing as original games or anything. So we used to go to this place where they sell all the copies of the DVDs where you can just buy games. And I had a rule at my own house where I cannot play video games during weekday. I can only play them on weekend. So in the weekend, I was looking forward for playing games, but I was also looking forward to buy a copy of a game, which was like $1 or something, US dollar, if I want to translate that. And depending on my performance on my school, I will either get the game or my dad won't buy me anything. But every time I went to the store, I always enjoy like the thrill of I'm gonna look at all these titles and I'm just gonna find something new to play this weekend. And it was always in my mind, like whenever I play games, like, why you don't do this like this? Like, I imagine a game like this or whatever. And since I was kid, it was already stuck in my head that I wanted to create games, but I really didn't thought about it much. Now things changed a bit when I went to college. I got my first job in a model agency. They do events. Now that I think about, I was kind of stupid to leave that early, that company. But it was a model agency. And my job was really simple. It was just looking at some list of some Excel, some stuff. Like, I don't even know what that is. I was extremely boring. And I always thought, man, like, working in video games will be amazing. For me, I had this thought of this, Disneyland kind of idea of working in video games. Like, dude, this work sucks, but if I manage to get into a game company, I'm sure I will love it. And it was always stuck on my head that it's like going for work at a AAA video game company. At that time, Ubisoft was making good games. It was on my list, but there were a bunch of others. I'm not a particular fan of any of those, but it was just the idea of just, working on something fun, right? And because I was born in Peru, there was no game industry, especially at that time. There are a few companies here and there, but nothing that really grabbed my attention. So I wasn't privileged enough to born in a country where I can just apply for an internship or whatever. I don't know, Ubisoft is in my town and they are offering some internships programs and I can just apply and see how it goes. It wasn't like that. So what I did instead was to work for myself. I did a lot of that's the time where I grind a lot. I got a lot of skills. And I had a little company with some friends. And we were making some games. We were making some projects. We had a lot of fun. And I really enjoy my time there. And every day when I went to work there, I felt like this is amazing. Like, this is amazing. Like, it will be even great if we are more successful, but just like it is, like, I was getting like $100 a month for my own pocket, and I couldn't sustain living like that for a long time. And I tried my best for many years. And where I couldn't sustain it anymore, even though it was fun. I felt like very proud of all the things that we were doing. I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna try and see if I can get a work at a AAA company. Maybe someone out there will find me. So I focus on my portfolio. I applied for mentorships. I did like a year intensively only environment art. That's the only thing I did. And eventually I got a job offer from Ubisoft to go to China. And I did the art test. I can tell you about the art test in another video just to speed things up. Finally, like, it was always in the back of my head that, man, even if I had this small company, it was always like, what if I actually work for a big company, right? And Ubisoft, despite everything that has done in the last years, it was still a great company to work for in terms of game environment, in terms of the people, the talent. There are a lot of talented individuals there. And I just remember when I arrived to China, I went to the hotel and it was a sunny day and it was like amazing. I could eat fried rice for breakfast. And the same night, they asked me, hey, like, I know you start work on Monday. It's like Friday. Do you want to take a look at the office? And I always remember the first day I entered, it was like it was a very cool office. I mean, it's like a lot of statues, a lot of posters, like a lot of titles, etc. You could see the people working in some projects and you can talk to them and, take a sneak peek of what's coming up, what are the future plans. And it was amazing. One of the perks I got was that I got all the games for free in my library. And until this day, I still have everyone except for I get to keep all of them even if I leave the company. So I couldn't buy a single game because I already own everything with all the DLCs and everything. That was amazing. Except when you leave the company, you don't get the new ones, but I still keep the ones I own until then, which are a lot of games. And to be fair, I haven't installed the majority of them, even though they're free. I guess when things are free, you don't really value them, but it was amazing. It was amazing. And you're wondering why I quit. There is this thinking in the internet where you read stuff like people in AAA companies just only care about money. And that's all there is, right? And the ones who are actually, they actually care about making games are those indie game studios who are actually making something creative, something that they care about. They don't know if they will succeed or not. And there is some kind of truth to that. Everything was going great. And because I worked for myself for so many years and I was this passionate, driven person, it was a shocking environment that I didn't find the same type of mindset inside. And everything came into place many years later where, when you get older, I was very young when I went there. I went at 24 years old. I'm 31 now. When you get older, you have other priorities. A lot of people have kids. A lot of people have mortgage to pay. And all these things have a higher priority for you. Then suddenly making the game, while it may be exciting at the beginning, later on is like, how am I going to pay the bills? And you can see that a lot of people just prioritize their family instead of making the game. So I'm gonna give you an example of what that means. let's just say you're working on something that is gonna be a good thing for the game. It's a new feature, it's gonna be fun and everything. But if it's not aligned to your lead's goals, then your lead, your manager or whatever, whoever is above you, is not gonna get that promotion, right? And it's all about climbing the ladder. Some people climb the ladder on League of Legends, some on Dota. I do it on Age of Empires, and some people climb the ladder on the company. It's like, and they just want to climb. And if there is an opportunity, and some people get really good at it because it's a very political game, they will take it. I mean, who gives a crap about the game? I'm getting like a 25% increase salary in the next month. I'm getting a bonus. I can pay for my kids' education. I can afford a better home, whatever. Who gives a crap about the game, man? To be honest. And when the company is so big, it feels like your contribution is so small. It is meaningful, but it's so small. Because when hundreds of people are working in the game, and sometimes thousands, it almost feels like, do you really need me? Because I feel like if I leave, everything's just gonna be fine. You know, there are systems in place. Someone can come to replace me. My skills are not like extremely unique. I do environment art. I have certain quality, but there are a lot of people in the world that can also do my job and can do it for the same price or cheaper or whatever. And it doesn't feel like I'm really needed here. And to be honest, you don't. Unless there is a max exodus of everyone leaving and no one will finish the game, which won't happen because salaries basically keep you like that. And when I joined the company the first days, I was thinking, man, I'm gonna stay here forever, man. Look at all those bonuses, look at all those perks, look at all the environment. I get to wear whatever I want for work, and I don't need to wear a suit. Time hours are flexible. I can discuss with my lead if I can leave early. I can, work another day, whatever. It's a great work. It's a great place to work, to be honest. As a work, it's a great place to work because, to be honest, all the work environments, it's just gonna be like that. If you go for a big company, you're gonna have the same issue. You're gonna have a manager that wants to get a promotion, and he's gonna pressure you to do your job so he can get his promotion. And the manager of the manager is also pressuring that manager to get that promotion. Everyone's climbing just the ladder. Eventually, they get to a very good position, and they will get a lot of money. Maybe they can get some shares. They can become a shareholder. That's that kind of the end game where you go for work for someone. That's the end game. For me, I start seeing these issues arise, and I was start remembering the times back in Peru where I was just doing these projects with a lot of passion. And even though they were not as big as the ones they do at Ubisoft, they were meaningful for me. I was proud of what we were doing. And I was starting missing that. And probably I will have stayed in the company until today if I didn't have that experience before. Because I started looking back, and it was really like all the things that I remember when I was a kid. Well, that dream, that illusion that working for a game company is gonna be the end goal. It's gonna solve all my issues. I don't have to worry about anything. Work is fun, whatever. Work is hard too. I'm not gonna lie that there is no pressure there. But that's true for any kind of job, to be honest. Any kind of job. So, that's another thing I realized, that no matter if it's a game company or not, A job is just a job. That's just what it is. And a job sucks, to be honest. A job sucks. Working for a salary sucks. Because no matter what you do, you will always have uh, the same amount of money, unless you play the political game for the long term. And the political game is really nasty. It's really nasty. There, I remember Naval said something like, there are two things that are extremely addicted. Humans are extremely addicted. One, it's LSD, the drug. And the second one is a salary. And it's true. I was thinking, how am I going to live? How am I going to live without this salary? Like every month, I have this secure money that I can use every month, no matter what happens. Like I will always have that for me. Even if I underperform, even if I do my best, even if I do my worst, I will always have the same one. So that kind of safety is really hard to ignore. So it was really hard for me. And even and at that time, I was reading a lot about, how to make it right. Because when I was doing it in Peru, I was doing it wrong. I didn't do it right. And it's like, hey, I have these skills. Obviously, I'm working here. So I'm not like, I don't know anything. There must be something that I know that I can do. And eventually I decide to leave to do my own thing. And maybe for another video, I can share you what I learned of working on my own, which worked for me. It worked for me. I'm glad it worked. And that dream of working for a AAA company is no longer there. It's just no longer there. I'm sure there are some great companies out there as well, but you always need to find your own answer. Like, what is it that you want to do? And be very honest with yourself. Like, do you love this? Do you like it? Or just doing it for the money? There's a big difference between liking something and loving something. Night and day difference. Most people will find something they like. Very few will find something they love. And you gotta be very honest with yourself and make a tough call. Make a tough call and say, you know what? This is not for me. This is not for me. So going back to the reason I'm telling you this story is because a lot of people think like, oh, AAA don't care. The thing is, there are some people that care. I wouldn't say everyone is just selfish and just they just only care about their salary and that's it. There are some people who care. There is also a lot of people who don't care. The truth is, like, there's very little you can do when this is such a big company. The case of Wukong was really special because it started as a small company. It was a small studio. And when they got the trailer, then they got funded. But I think they still keep it relatively low, 100 something people. I need to check that out. It's not like an extremely huge corporation with thousands of people, systems and everything. Not like that. It still had, it's like Blizzard in their early days, Naturally, when the company grows, you lost this kind of family feeling that a lot of people can relate when the company is smaller. So definitely it affects. And obviously shareholders, like the stockholders, obviously have a huge impact on the decisions of the company, because when the company is public, they just met there to make money. That's it. And that's why we're seeing these today. That's why we're seeing these games that are just not fun. Are just like, I go and play some of these games are like, why am I playing this? This is not fun at all. Like the other day, I was playing a retro game outside of a restaurant. They put like these arcades where you can just play Super Nintendo games. I was playing with my wife some beat 'em up. It was extremely fun, extremely simple, and extremely fun. We don't even see that today. And good things that games like Wukong or Space Marine have come up to remind us that, hey, like, you need to put some passion, right? It's okay to worry about the profit, but you need to put some passion. There are a lot of passionate people working in these big studios, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of them. But it's just that they don't have that power. Because even if you're so passionate about something, I'm sure you find a game like, it's like some things are, I really like this about this game, but the other things like suck. Like, you always find like these people are really passionate about it. They do their contribution. And there are other people who just don't care. And that's the reality. And they have their own reasons. I don't feel like I can judge them. Like, they are in a position where they have to pay the bills and they have other priorities in life. Now their kids are their priority. It's not so much the projects. And things like that happen. So when I saw that, I left the company because it's like, this is not where I want to spend the rest of my days. And to be honest, even though I was fairly dangerous to leave the company and do what I did, I believe truly that danger is the oxygen of life. And I couldn't be happier with my decision. There are a lot of things going on right now on the things that I'm doing that I'm really proud of, really happy about. But of course, if you wanna join a game company, still a great experience. Maybe it is meant for you to go there and have your own answer. Like, I only have the answer for my own living experience. I don't have the answer for everyone. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, just let me know in the comments what topic you want me to tackle next. If you want some environment art coaching, I put a link in the description where we can just have one-on-one calls for coaching sessions. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Take care.